Hello there, folks. Hey, it's Joel Zoo here. In this video, we're going to talk about something really interesting. We're going to use a combination of the FindTagIndex to act as a pointer, and then also the function GetIntTag or GetStringTag or GetRealTag to return the value of that item that we're pointing to with the FindTagIndex. The purpose of this is really to have a widget that will populate with tags from any device. So if you look at this database here, just going to be honest here and show you what I got going on. I am just doing Modbus communications to a couple of different HMIs that I've got set up as slave devices. That's all. I'm just making these, mimicking that they are different PLCs or different tanks or different items out there. These are 4 of them that I'm pulling. And then I have in here, I have a bunch of tags under each one. They're all the same. I got a bunch of integers. I got some real values, and I have some flags as well. And then, of course, those are being read from the device. And then I've got some values that read or that write to the PLC. So I've got those in here as well and set up and running. So I've got that running on my HMI. Now let me show you here. I'm going to go ahead and download this to my HMI. Of course, I'm just proving this new. This is a whole new build, so I'm going to say yes, continue on. All right, and I've got open here. Here's the web page from that particular unit. Notice if I go over here to display pages, here's the menu, and I'm showing it right here. Oops, that's the slave. So here's the menu. So if I click on this one, it shows me the live data from slave number 92. If I click here, it shows me the live data from 93 and so forth. On this web browser here, I'm either showing slave 92 or I can look at slave 93 or what have you. But nonetheless, if I go here and then look at this, you can see there's the live data coming from my particular slave. Okay. Now, what I want to do, though, in this database is instead of these all going to separate pages like you see here. I mean, really, let me back up. Watch, if I right click on this guy and go to properties, you'll see that in action, it literally just goes to that page. That's what it does. What I'd like to do instead is have these go to a page that actually gets the tags from some indirect pointing, if you will. So before I make my page, I'm going to go over here to data tags. Let me collapse these, shrink this down so you guys can see everything here. All right, so I got everything collapsed in here, and I'm just going to take one of these. I'll copy this folder here, copy, and then I'll click on data tags on top, and I'll do a paste, and of course it calls it slave, whatever, something. I'm going to rename this dynamic underscore tags. I think my friend Clay likes that wording, so I'm going to roll with that. We call it dynamic tags. Now, if I expand these, it's the same, and these are all mapped. All of these are still mapped to slave 92. Well, instead, I want to make this mapped to a pointer that goes and looks at the tag that's over here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one of them, and then I'll go ahead and mass produce a bunch. So let me show you the first one. I'm going to hit the pull down here where it says general, or slave, I'm sorry, and I'm going to choose complex, which opens up this nice window right here. And I'm going to comment out this by two forward slashes that makes that just a comment statement. And then I'll go to the end of this line and I'll enter. So I got line feed. Okay. Now, the tag I'm currently looking at is an X, which means it's an integer. So I'm going to go over here to the right side of Crimson, and on the lower right hand corner, I'm going to click on System. I've already expanded, but if you expand the functions tree and then go down and expand the tag data tree, you're going to see there's a function called GetIntTag. That's the one I'm going to use. I'm going to drag this guy out here like this. So that's going to get me the integer tag. However, inside the parentheses, I need to use another function that's going to point to the appropriate tag in whatever folder I'm trying to get it from. So there's another one here called FindTagIndex, and I'm going to put this in between the parentheses right here. So I'm going to put it right there, boom, like that. And then you see my cursor here is in the middle. So what I need to do is I need to create a way to look at this folder. I don't know if I can expand it. No, I can't. But this particular folder, you know what, I can expand over here. Hold on. I need to go into this folder, and I need to go into this folder, and then I need to go into here and find this value here. So let me ponder here. This FindTagIndex needs to be a string. So I'm going to put let me try something here. I'm going to do enter. And I'm just curious. If I drag this guy out here, oh, look at this. I just dragged this tag out here. The reason that I did that is because I was looking for, where's my pointer? I was looking for this format here. This format right here. Now notice, the only thing difference between this particular tag and say this one here, well, let me do a line feed, hold on. The only difference between those two, as you notice, is the slave number, whether it's 92, 93, or whatever, it's the slave number. Okay, so I'm going to do this, team. I'm going to kind of parse this sentence away. Let me get this one out of here for now. I'm going to parse this into segments. So I'm going to grab this section right here, and I'm going to right click and do a cut. So I cut that, and then up here in this parentheses, I'm going to do double quotations, Control V as in Victor to paste that, and then do double quotations, and I'm going to add a kind of a tag here that I'm going to call it slave number, for instance, slave number. Okay. Oh, and you know what, team? Hold on. I need to add that to this, so I'm going to put a plus here, plus the slave number, and then after the slave number, I'll do a plus again, and then it looks like after that comes this folder here, dot tags from slave. In this case, we're doing all integers, so I will go ahead and, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to cut this here, put this here at this end, Control V, double quotations. I'll do, plus again. The next part of this is the dot integers. So I'm going to grab the dot integers here after the 92, cut that, and I'll go right here. And I can't put double quotations, Control V, that, and then I'll do plus, and then the last part of this is this dot int1. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that from there, and I'll put that right here. Control V, there we go. Okay, I'm going to step out here and do a semicolon. Okay, now I'm going to have a little problem. I'm going to get rid of this part. This is going to cause an error, but I don't have a tag called slave number right now anywhere in my listing. So even though my desires are to have this here, I don't have one right now. So when I go to compile this, it's not going to work like I want. I'm going to try it. I'm going to copy this whole thing. Hold on, just in case I crash and burn. I'm going to copy this. Let me click the OK button. Okay, so it wants to declare it, but here's the problem. Oh, I forgot one thing. This, even though this wants to be a string, I need to make the slave number be a text field. So it's going to be an integer that I need to convert to a string. So this is a problem. So I'm going to say no to this. I'm going to cancel no to this or close that. And I don't want to lose all this work, so I'm going to text this out. By doing that, that just makes it a comment, if you will. And then I'm going to go ahead and go over here to my data tags. And I'm going to insert a new numeric tag. And I'm going to call this one slave underscore number. I don't think I did an underscore. I think I just did slave number. Okay. Let me go back to this guy that currently turned yellow. Let's look what we got here. Okay, there's that tag that matches. However, instead of this being the slave number, I need to do a dot as text so that it converts that to a text string here. All right. So let's go ahead and see if I can click the OK button, see what happens. Oh, I need to put a return here. Sorry. I need, just like up above here. So it's supposed to return. Okay, let's try it here. Okay, it took it. All right. Now, Since I am doing this with both reels and flag tags, and I could also be doing strings, I don't have any strings, I am going to do something interesting here, team. I'm going to copy this line. I'm going to copy, and then I'll go to the next line. I'll do paste, paste again. And the reason I'm doing this is because over here in system, we have not only the GetInt, we have the GetReal, and we have a GetString tag here. So I'm going to just cover my bases for later, change this to real here, and this one here, I'll change this one to string tag, GetString. However, we're not going to be using these right now, so I'm going to simply comment or text this line out and this line here as well. Okay, and then also up here where it says complex code, I'm going to actually just put in, I'm going to call this pointer function like this. Pointer function. I don't need an underscore to get rid of this. Okay, and I'll hit enter. Now notice, team, that when I did that, the X went from being green to yellow. So it's kind of equal to a formula here is what it is. Okay, I'm going to save my program here. I'm going to save my program. Okay, and I want to apply those attributes to these three other ones. So I'm going to click here on int2, hold down the shift button, click on int4. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to the copy from, and I'm going to choose copy mapping for this. I'm going to choose copy mapping. I got nothing out here, but if I go over here, I got a trailing X. Wants me to ask me who you copy from. This guy right here. So I'm going to click here. Boom. It says that. Now let me double check something. I'm going to click on this one, and I'll click the edit button. The only thing I need to change on each of these is I need to look at integer 2, 3, and 4. So I need to change this field right here to number 2 right there. Click OK. I'll click this one here. Hit the pull down here. Change this one to int3. Click OK. And this one here is going to go to int4. Oops. Okay. All right. So that covers those guys. Now, let's go ahead and expand the reels category here. I'm going to click here and here. I'm just going to cheat, and I'm going to copy those functions from here. So I'll right click, copy from, copy mapping. Doesn't matter which one of these. I'm going to click on it here, say OK. And then I'm going to click on this guy. I want to check out something here. I actually need to use this function instead of that one. So I'm going to make this one a comment. Boom, boom. I'm going to turn on this middle one, which is a reel. And instead of it getting from the integers category, I can cheat and look over here. It's actually going to come from the reels folder and reel 1. So I am going to change this here to reel. Reels is what it is. And then here at the end, it is reel 1. Okay, that looks good. If you want to get really lazy, you could certainly just copy this line, copy, hit the OK button, go to the next one here, hit the edit button, and I'm going to make this line here comment, and I'm going to delete this line, and Control V to insert, and this one is going to be number 2. All right, click the OK button. Okay, and let's go down here to the flags category, because they're a little bit unique here with the flags. I mean, kind of unique, same concept, but we got flags here instead of an integer. So I'm going to highlight all of these flags. I'm going to right click and say copy from, copy mapping. I'm going to choose one of the integers. I'll just choose the top one here, this guy right here. Okay. It did that. Let me click on the top one here. Okay. Now, I need to change on this one that it's the flags folder, and it's going to be, what is it called over here? Flag _1. So let me change this here to be flags. Yep. And the last part of this is flag _1. right there. I think that's all matches, flags. Yep, okay. So I'm going to click the OK button, and I'm going to apply that same mapping to these other ones. So I'll save, click here, here, highlight, right click, copy from, copy all mapping, this guy right here, okay. And then I just got to change on each of these that they're looking at flag number 2, 3, or 4. So I'm going to change this here to number 2. And this one here is number 3. So hit the edit button. Okay. And here is number 4 right here. All right. Now, one thing that's interesting about the flags or the booleans that I found out is that even though the original was doing this, and this is how I teach my class, these things, when you're using this pointer array, because it's going to the name here, you don't have to do this part. What you really got to do here is on all of these, you need to just simply set them up as an unsigned integer. It's going to sound weird, but you set them up as an unsigned integer, and the pointer will automatically go to bit 2, 3, or 4 of the one you're pointing to. So I'm going to change this to all unsigned integers. Okay, that takes care of all of the ones I'm getting from my device out in the field. Let's go down here to do tags. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'll save this. Let's save this. And let's see how it works. Let's go ahead and try this. So let me go here to display pages. I'm going to add a new button. So I'll right click and do smart duplicate, another button. And this button is going to go to a page called Indirect Addressing. So I'm going to, I think before I make that, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to insert a new page, and I'm going to call this page Indirect Addressing. Okay, let me change the background color to white here. And I'm going to cheat and make sure I got my menu page or menu button here. So put that on here. All right, so on this page, we're going to go over here to data tags. And for testing, I'm going to expand my dynamic tags. And I'm going to grab these tags from the slave. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on here like this. Make it a little bigger. And I might make the font a little bigger here. Maybe I won't. Like that. And let me make these all follow the same format here. All right, so on the menu button, I'm going to take this button here, the one I just added. We're going to have it go to that page. I'm going to have it go to this page. And then on the text tab, I'm going to change this to indirect address. I want to show you something. It's not going to work yet, but I want to show it to you. Okay. Oh, and by the way, on the indirects page, I'm going to put this new pointer tag called slave number out here. Let's put this on this page. And we'll go there. We'll make it data entry. And remember, in my class, I always like to give an edge or border to anything with the data entry, so I'll change it to that. All right, so according to this document, I'm going to go to this page, and then when I go to that page, I'm going to see if I can put in a 92, 93, or 94, see what happens. I'm showing you this because this is how I learned some tricks here. So let me save this to the HMI, and let me go ahead and download it to it, and let's see what happens. All right, so here I am running. Now, if I go to the indirect address page, notice everything's 0 because I'm not even looking at the tag or the correct slave. So if I put this at 92 here, theoretically, it should be looking at the slave, but notice everything's 0. Okay, kind of scratch your head, put this in the back burner. Let me go back to the menu tab and let me click on slave 92. Clearly, this page is all explicitly mapped. It's working. So now if you hit the menu button, go back here to indirect, look, it has some values. But you ought to notice something. Let me go to the other web browser that's showing the live data. Where to go to here? See here how it's changing right here? Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so sorry I got disrupted on a phone call there. See how it's stagnant here? So if I hit the menu button, go back to slave 92, it's cranking along here, go back to this indirect, and you'll see it comes up with the number here. What if I change this to 93? So now I'm looking at 93, but I've never actually pulled number 93. So when I go here, now I establish polling 93, go back here indirect, and look, it has a value. If I change this back to 92, 728 was the last time it pulled. Of course, we go here now, it's at 975, so we go here, it loads, but it only loads at one time. So that's something to think about with this. Now, the way to fix that here is if I go back to data tags, and on all of these tags, there's a couple ways to fix it. Let me show you one way and then another idea. On every one of these tags, if I go to the triggers tab, here, go to the triggers tab, I'm going to just do a change in value. Actually, take that back. I'm not going to do it here. Hold on. This is at the pointer tag. I actually have to go up here to the real tag. This is the real tag. And what I'm going to do is on these tags, I'm going to hit the triggers tab. I'm going to hit the pull down here. And I'm going to put a change in value. I'm not going to do anything here. In the function I'm going to do is no operation. So I'm going to do change in value, which whatever, I'm not putting a value here to tell, so I really don't know how that triggers. But by doing this, it's going to put it in the scan list. Now I need to add this step to all the rest of these. So I have seen my Crimson lately crash when I do this. So I'm going to save my program first, and then I'm going to click here, and I'm going to highlight all these ones that I'm working with, and I'm going to right click and go copy from, not click on anything. I'm going to do copy selective. I could also do copy triggers. Let's try copy triggers. Let me do that, and then I'll click here. Okay, so it says one item didn't. Let's check our math here. That looks good. Looks good there. Looks good here, here. Okay, so since these have a different trigger, just an on-off, it couldn't do it here. So I'm going to hit the pull down here and choose active on. Or not active on, I'm sorry, change the state. I'm going to put no op here. All right, I'm going to save my program because I want to copy that from these over to these two here. So I'll right click, copy from, copy triggers. I'll click there. All right, that should do. Let's test this before I try everything. So I'm going to go ahead and download it. Remember, before this, slave 92 was showing static. It was static information. So let's see what happens here. So here I am. I'm not going to go to any of these. I'm going to go right here indirect. Oh, I didn't make this tag retentive, so it didn't stay. Hold on a second here. Okay, I'm back. I got like 2 phone calls where I'm trying to make this video. I keep losing where I am. So I'm going to try this here. Put in 92 here. Now look, with that no op thing I did, you can see that these will get updated. Not quite as real time as this guy, but pretty darn close. Working pretty good. If I put 93 here, look, no cigar because I don't have anything in those tags that are being updated. So now, of course, as you saw, if I go here to page 93, get some live data, these tags are all direct mapped. Go back to indirect. Look, it read the last thing. However, if I change this back to 92, there it is, pretty live. So let's go back to Crimson and let's copy that no-op feature from all these tags to all the other ones, okay? Just to make it easy. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to expand. I'm going to click. I'm going to do it on all of them. Really, I am. So I'm going to go. Did I do? I don't think I crossed that bridge. No, but I don't think I crossed this yet. Did I? Nope. I got to get to that. I'll get to that. But since, hey, let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to copy all those. Hold down the shift button. Highlight those. That should take all of these. I think it should get these. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to do copy from. I'm going to choose copy triggers. And I'm going to try to do it from these guys here. Let's see what it does. No changes. Is that right? I'm going to try it again. Copy from, copy triggers. How about this guy? Really? That's interesting. Isn't that just fantastic? So there's triggers here. Weird. Okay. Let's go here. Why doesn't that select all? If I hold down the shift button, that select. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Shifted all. All right, I got them all selected. Sometimes down here too. All right, let's try it again. Let's do slide up here to the top. Right click, copy from, copy triggers. Click on this guy. Let's see if it does. It says okay, at least one could. Now I think the problem is these are a different trigger. So I'm going to go ahead and do a copy from here. Do it again, triggers. And let's click on one of these. And now I think if I save, well, let me just double check. There's some there. I'm looking here. What about these guys? Okay, I think everything's done now. So if we go now to, well, I don't need to do anything. I got the pointer working. So let's download this to it. Let's see what happens. You'd think of the save when it came up. That's weird. But let's go over here and look. Same test as before. I'm going to go to the indirect page. Notice I didn't make this tentative, so that's why I have to keep putting the number in. If I put in 92, boom, looks good live. Let's check out 93. Boom. Oh, yeah, looks live. How about 94? Yep. 95. Looks good. What about 90 or 96 is what I'm looking at. So we'll go back to 92. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, it looks good to me. I like it. It's all working good. All right, let's continue on with our test here. What I mean by continue on is we need to, by the way, just so you guys know, I applied those functions to both the tags from the slaves and all the tags to the slave. So I haven't crossed that bridge yet on my dynamic mapping, but I did apply that no-op feature to all those tags. Okay. So let's go down here to my dynamic tags. These ones are all done. They look great. They're working perfect. Exactly what I want to see. Again, I just remind you that the flags tag, you need to set them up as unsigned integer. Don't worry about this bit number because the pointer will get the right bit from where it's doing up here. Now the tags from the slave, same exact concept in the read part, but the write's a little different. So I'm going to do this. On the tags from the slave here, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to copy from, I'm going to try this, I'm going to do copy mapping, and I'm going to click on this guy here, the one we did earlier. Boom, right there. Say okay. Let me just look here, go here. All right, there's return. Now I'm going to change the text here because according to it, this is the tags to the slave, the tags to the slave folder. So I'm going to change this to say to slave, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this stuff here. Well, yeah, I will. Right there, delete it. All right, pointer function looks good. I'm going to click the OK button. I'm going to save this. Let me do the same thing for the other ones that are reals and ints. Well, I'll do these ones here. So I'll right click and I'll say copy from copy mapping from this guy. Okay, should have applied it on. Now if I click here, go here, we need to change this. Oh, I forgot that. I need to, yeah, this is correct. This is integer number 2 here. Okay, click OK. The next one is going to be integer number 3. Click the edit button here. Change this to a 3. And the last one is integer 4. Oops. I can't get my mouse to work here. Okay. All right. Now, because these are going to be writable tags, a little bit different. I'm going to have to use the onWrite command here to write to the tag a kind of a data function. You might be scratching your head. What do you mean by that? Well, before all of these are readable, we're just reading. But in this case, I want the operator to be able to write a number and send it to it. So I've got to do something down here. So I'm actually going to use the general, go to complex. Again, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to use this format just by grabbing one of these tags. I can drag it out here. Just lets me see the format. That's all I'm doing there. Okay. And then if I go over here to system, And this time, because these are integer tags, I'm going to use a function called setIntTag. So I'm going to drag setIntTag out here, and then in between the parentheses here, I need to call the FindIndex tag. So I'm going to grab this guy, put it right here, right in between like that. There we go. Here is our formula that we're doing. So we want to go parentheses. We want to go into this folder. I'm going to try something here on this one. Actually, team, it's going to be the folder called, oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Hold on. This is the wrong. I meant to grab one of the real tags. That way I could actually see my formula. Here. Grab that one. Okay, there we go. So there's the formula. So I'm going to do this in this one. I'm going to highlight this whole thing. And I'm going to copy. Nope, I can't do that. I got to do just this part right here. Copy. Control V. Double quotations plus. And then, of course, I'm going to use my slave number, the tag we're putting number in. So I'm going to put the slave number tag right here. But instead of it being a numeric, I needed to make an as text, so it shows up as an ASCII string. So I'll do as text at the end of that. That's a dot, if you will, property. And then I'm going to do plus again. The rest of the equation is dot tags to slave. And I might even just do this all the way to right here. So I'll grab that whole thing, copy, paste that here, double quotations, plus, double quotations there, and the actual tag is int.1. So copy, paste, int.1, double quotations, go to the end here, do a semicolon, and up here I'm going to do that. I'm going to call this one pointer right function. I could call the other one read function, but okay, I think I got this correct. I'm going to hit the OK button. Let's see if it takes it. Oh, I did forget something. Yes, I did forget something. At this set int tag, we'll take this pointer here. It's going to sound really weird, but it has to take the data function. You're going to go, what do you mean by data? Well, there's some internal thing in Redline that creates a data tag. So I'm going to call data. You're going to scratch your head and go, where'd that come from? But it's something internal to this function. So I'm going to do this. That means it's going to take the number you put in and put it in this thing. So I'm going to click the OK button. We took it that time. Looks good. Now I'm going to be cheating here. And what did I do that on this one? I meant to do it on this one. Did I do it on this one? I sure did. Hold on. I did it on the wrong tag. No big deal. Hold on. Let me fix this. That means this should be number 4, not number 1, number 4. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to copy that to these other 3. I meant to do it on this one. No big deal. Notice this guy turned red. You see that? And these are all yellow. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to highlight these guys. Right click. Hold on. Let me save this first because it's crashing. Right click and do copy from. And I'm going to choose the copy mapping. Actually, I'm going to do copy selective because I don't see the on right here. So I'm going to do copy selective. And I got a trailing, there's like a trailing X. Usually there's a box. I'm going to click on this guy right here. Boom. And I want to tell it to copy this on right function. That's the function I want it to copy. So I'm going to hit the that button there. Boom. Yep. Okay. Now it changed them all. However, I got to change the tag number. So this is supposed to be integer number 1. There we go. This one is supposed to be integer number 2. This one is integer number 3. Perfect. All right. Let's continue with that fun. You know what? I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this function we just did here. I'm going to copy this guy. I'm going to go down here to my reel. How come my reels? Oh, my reels are still mapped. Wonderful. Okay, hold on. Let me try this. I'm going to copy these guys. I'm going to write, copy from mapping any of these. That guy there. Okay. All right, let me try something. Go here. Save this. This one has to go to slaves to, that's okay there, but it needs to be the reels here. and it's going to be, according to this, real 1. So I'm going to change this to real 1. Okay. Oh, because it's a real number, I got to change the function here from GetInt. It needs to be a GetReal. GetReal. So I'm going to change this to a real. There we go. Click OK. Took it, and then I'm going to copy from here that mapping, put it there. Okay, and now I just got to double check, make sure this one is going to real number 2. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to copy from both of these the on right from this guy. So I'm going to right click here, copy from. Because it's the on right, it's not one of these pre-built choices. I'm going to choose copy selective. Click on one of these guys. I'm going to click this. Yep, it's already checked. Boom. Changed it to red. I want you to notice that's interesting because now I'm using the right function. However, when I click on this, let me save this. I got to go down here. It says the word was. What do you mean was? Well, there's a problem here because this is supposed to be real, not int. So I'm going to change this to real. Okay. And then this is supposed to be the reals directory. And of course, this is supposed to be real 1, I believe. Let me look. Yep. Yep. All right. Let me click the OK button. That fixed that guy. And then to make it easy on the other one, I'll just copy from. Selective. Click here. Go ahead and click OK on that. That should get rid of the was. That fixed the was. However, this has got to go to real 2, not real 1. Okay. There we go. And then let's finish. Let's work on our flag tags here. So our flag tags, let me check this. Yeah, that's correct. I need to make the flag tags to go look at the integer values. So I'm going to highlight all these, go copy from, copy mapping, just choose this guy here, say OK. Now if I click on one, let me save this. This should go, but it's got to go to the flags category here. So we'll do flags, whoops. Flags, and then I believe it's flag 1. Let me look here. Flag 1. Yep. Okay. Looks good. Looks good. Let me click the OK button here. Oops. There we go. I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to copy that from these other ones here. Copy mapping from this guy. Okay. And then I just got to change these to look at flag 2, 3, and 4. I want you to kind of notice that the icon is still yellow, so it's not red, it's yellow. Kind of means in this case read only, if you will, but wait till I add a write function to this. Okay, that should take care of my 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, don't forget, when you're doing these, make this an unsigned integer. Make flag tags that are actually mapped to Boolean somewhere else. You can make this an unsigned integer. So we'll do that. And now what we got to do is we've got to copy, we got to do a function here. Oops, not here, right here, from like one of these guys. So I'm going to highlight all these. Let's see if this will work. I'm going to right click and say copy selective. I'm going to click on this guy here. I want to copy that pointer function. So I'll say OK, say yes. Let me save it. Let me click on these guys. Let me edit this. You might ask, what do you mean by edit? Why am I doing edit? Because I'm actually looking at the flags category, and the value is called flag 1 here. So I'm going to change this here to dot flags, and this over here is flag underscore 1. Okay, click the OK button. Now that one's right. I can fix these other ones by highlighting copy from the mapping of this guy. Boom. And now I just got to change these to look at flag 2, 3, and 4. So here's flag 2. This one here is going to be flag 3. And this one is flag 4. Okay, I think I'm ready to test this. Let me save this and let me go back to my display pages. I'm going to grab the tags from the slave, drag these guys out here like this, because these are the ones I'm going to write to them. Make them a little bigger like this, and then I'll take this guy. I'm going to go make a data entry, boom, 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 bold. If you've ever been in one of my classes, you know I have a rule. Anything that's a writable tag, I always like to put a border on, so I'm going to go to the double click on it edge, give it 2 or 3 pixels here. Yeah, get that call back here a second. Let's change it to red, click OK. And then I'm going to apply those attributes all to the rest of these. So I'll highlight them all, copy from, all formatting this guy right here. And with them all sitting here like this, I'm going to make them all, try to space them out a little bit. So I'm going to highlight them all, right click, go to arrange, equally spaced vertically. There's enough room, beautiful. Okay, let's save this and let's see what happens. All right, so here comes the master, should relight up here. Let me refresh this. I can see the HTML is on. Why isn't the web page loading? Why did you do this to me? All right, let me hit remote view here. Let's see. Okay, there you go. All right, so I'm going to click the indirect addressing here. Okay, let's change this to 92. Look, we're getting live data. That's wonderful. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring up the 92 on the other browser right here. So if I go into here and put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, booyah, look at right there. There it is. How about if I go down here and do 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3. There you go. Oops, did I not put in? Oh, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6. Interesting. Look at that number. We'll fix that here in a second. What about this real number down at 12.34? Look at that, working perfect right there. How about this next one here? Let's put 5.65. Boom. No, I didn't put a 5, I guess. 5.65. There it is. Looks good. How about some of these booleans? That's weird that those say on and off. Let me look here. Why are that? That's weird. Let me turn this one on. Did I forget to, let's go back to Crimson here. Well, hold on, before I get done testing this, let's try this with another. Let's change this to 93. Okay. Change this to 55.66. Oh, I got over here. I got to make this look at number 93. Oops. No. I'll look at 93. Here we go. Remote view. There's that number 5566 4.0. These are all off. Let me try something on this one. Did I forget something here? That turned on. That looks good. What about this one? Now we'll go back and fix that. Look at that here in a second. All right. Okay, so let me go back to Crimson here. That looks good. Why didn't these guys work? Let me look here real quick here, team. So this should be tags to slave, flag 1. That's correct. And this down here should be set integer tag, slave there, tags, flag. Oh, no, that's right. That's tags to slave. Okay, that one worked. Let me look at the next one. Ah, team. Look at, I forgot something. These are supposed to be the flags category. That's why they're not working right. Always check your mapping on your tags. So this is actually flag 1, flag 2. All right, click the OK button. And I might as well fix all these. I'm going to highlight these 2 guys. Copy from, copy selective. Click on this guy. Should be that pointer function. We'll try it. Let's see. Click here. Let me double check my work. Flags, flag 3 this time. I bet this fixes that problem. Yep. I'm pretty sure it will. And this one's going to be flag 4. All right, let's save it just to double check before I move on here. All right, let me click the indirect addressing, change this to number 92, and go ahead and try to turn one of these on. That guy there works. How about this guy here? Works. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yep. Now, if you didn't want to do the on update, or not on update, but if you didn't want to do this no op thing that I was talking about on all these others, these triggers I started out, if you didn't want to do this procedure, another way you can get Redline to call the tags all the time is to simply go create a data logger. You could actually go over here to data logger. You can create a new data log. You could leave it as triggered snapshot or put it as triggered snapshot. Who cares about this? As long as we don't have a trigger down here, it's not going to call it. And I could go over here. I could call this DYN tags for giggles. And then if I go to the contents tab, I can literally just add these tags to this. And this will put those in our system to update on every scan. So there, if I put them in there, I got everything in here. Yep. Let me save this. Let's download. Of course, I got two things happening. I got the no-op and I got the data logger running. So let's see what happens here. All right. So if I click here, I'm pulling the real, this is 93. Let me go back here. This is going to be 93 right here. There, that should match up with 93. Yep. But if I go here and do indirect, change this number here to 93, yeah, it's working pretty darn good. There's a little bit of latency, but nothing too much. How about if I turn this on? There it is right there. Oh, that's just wonderful. How about if I turn on flag 4? Perfect. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now let me go one step further with this wacky database. And what I mean by one step further is these buttons here all actually go to these pages. Well, instead, what I'd like to do is when I push this button, I'd like to go to this indirect address thing, but I'd like to have it pre-look at the page before. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to just to be cool here. I'm going to pick a folder, and I'm going to put these tags or these display pages in this folder, just because I might actually delete them when I'm done to prove this. Somebody's calling me. I'll call that guy back later. All right. So I put that there. All right. Now, if I go to this menu, I'm going to right-click on this slave number 2, for instance, button, go to Properties, and right here where it says Action, it's explicitly doing this step. Well, instead of it doing this, I'm going to have it do two things. I want to have it set the slave number pointer to 92 and then go to the indirect address page. So I'm going to hit the pull down here and choose User Defined. And remember, I always teach to use the on released. That way, the operator releases the button. That's when it executes. If you do the on pressed, I don't know if you've seen some operators, but they hold the button down forever, and you're like, wait a minute, Bob, you got to lift your finger. So anyway, I always do on released. I'm going to do complex here. And what I'm going to do in here is the first thing, I'm going to grab the slave number over here. I'm going to set it equal to 92. So that's going to set the pointer to slave 92. And then after that, I'm going to go to page, open parentheses. The name of the page I want to go to is called Indirect Address. So I'm going to type that here. Wish there was a way to drag that name over. I don't know if there is, but do that. Semicolon. And then up here, I might say, I'm going to leave a complex code for this one. What the heck? I'll leave complex code. I'll say OK. That looks good. I'm going to click the OK button here. All right, that's good. Now let me go down to this next one. I'm going to be a little lazy. I'm going to see if I can copy the action from this guy. Boom. Supposedly it took it. Let me save. Let's go look at this one here. Okay. All I got to change on this one is the pointer needs to look at slave number 93. Okay. So I'm going to click the OK button there. Perfect. And I'm going to go to this one here. I'm going to right click and do copy from. I'm going to copy my action as well from this guy. There you go. Let me check this. I got to change the pointer to look at number 94 this time. So I'll change this to number 94. Click OK. OK again. And then let's do it again on this one. Copy this one, the action from that guy. Go to this one, go to properties. And change this pointer to look at number 95 this time. Okay. All right. And this one, I'm going to leave it alone. Let's go ahead and save this. You know what? Yep. I shouldn't have saved. Oh well. Let me do this. Let me save as here real quick. It's this, what's it called here? This one here. Okay. We'll call this one one page. Because you might say, why do you call it one page? Well, because I'll say no to that. I'm going to delete all the other pages. That's these pages here we were originally using. I'm going to delete them. And if I did this correctly, none of these are being used. Matter of fact, if I right click and do find usage, oh, wait a minute, wait. Why did that happen? Hold on. How is it being used there? Wait a minute. Indirect. The page is not being used there. Well, hold on. I can't believe that. I'm going to go ahead and delete these pages. Why would I have an error here? Let me ponder my thoughts. Why is there an error? Hold on. That's just a name. There's nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Is there something down here still? Oh, that's wonderful. So when I pulled this down, I was expecting this to disappear, but apparently it didn't. So I'm going to have to go none, clear that out. That should clear that. Wow, that's wonderful. Now I'm going to use it. There it should be. I didn't know that stuff compounded. How about that, folks? All right. So that's why I got that error. Whoops. So I need to fix that on every one of these. Oh, I'll be darned. I didn't know that. That's just fantastic. So hit the pull down here, go to page. That one cleared. How about that? Do I still have errors? Oh, wait a minute. How do I have an error? Okay, that looks good. I swear I just did this. Did I not just do this? Let me click the OK button. Okay, let me try it again here. This is great that I'm filming this. Just really. Okay. Well, I'm going to do that. Well, that makes no sense. Wow. Okay. Let's try that. Do I still have errors? Of course I do on this one. Wow, that's deep. How about that? I never knew that was all twisted and intertwined like that. So I'm going to go to page, choose none, hit the pull down up here, choose no action. That clears it. Go back here, choose user defined. There it is. Click OK. Do we have an error still there? No, we got it on this one. Wow, I never knew that was a compounded thing. That's funny. Okay, we'll go here, choose no action, and then we'll click the OK button. We'll come back here, go back to properties, hit the pull down here, choose user defined. There it is. Okay, no more errors. Looks good. No more errors. I'm going to go save it. All right, let's draw and download this and see. Basically what I'm saying is I took a database that had 7 display pages on it, and now I only got 3. To do the same thing, I will cross my fingers. Let's see what happens here. Once it starts up, see what it does. All right, so if I click this one, it went right to 92. That's wonderful. If I go here and go to 93, Well, how about 94? 94 worked. What did 93 didn't work? I don't know. 95 works good. And if I go here, this is I can change this number to any number I want. Well, I can change it to anyone, but how come? Hold on, let me go back here real quick. We had a problem with this button. Let me look at something here. Well, it still has that in there, that's for sure. I'll do that. I'll click OK, and then I'll right-click again, and I'll turn on my user define. There it is. And then I'll tell you what, this button here, it goes, of course, yeah, that's fine there. I'm going to do a couple things. Let me turn this, say none here, go here, and choose no action, click the OK button, which hopefully clears that out. And then if I go to properties, I'm going to choose user defined, hit the pull down here. And I'm going to, when I do this, drag this here, make it equal to 0. And then I'll say go to page. Like that. I think I got that name spelled right. All right, click the OK button, click OK again, save it. Let's see what happens here. So now when I click that button, it should load with 0. So if I go here, you can see it's 0. Of course, I can manually move this to any of the values, but I can also go here and click on this guy. That'll go to 92. If I click this button here, it goes to 93. So really, this concept, I'm going to make another video of this, hopefully not as long, because I got interrupted with phone calls in this one, but pretty cool concept on indirect addressing. I'm going to make another one that's not quite so in-depth, but it's pretty cool ideas. The key to this concept, really the key is, in my opinion, is that you need to have something on the triggers that does a no-op here, or you can use those tags in a data logger, which not even do anything, but this is causing us to refresh them all the time. So if you don't do this, or the no-op, you're only going to get a static snapshot, which might be okay. I mean, I don't know what your goal is, but that might be an okay thing, but just something to ponder. All right. Thanks a lot, folks. Have a great day.